Beneath our feet, behind locked steel doors and inside forgotten ruins, some of the most disturbing experiments in military history were carried out in absolute secrecy. Most of these facilities were abandoned, others sealed forever, but the horrors remain. In this countdown, we'll move from unsettling to unimaginable, uncovering the 10 creepiest real experiments ever conducted in hidden military sites. Number 10. The Greenbryer Bunker, West Virginia, USA. Hidden beneath the Greenbryer Resort lies a Cold War-era fallout shelter built to house the entire U.S. Congress in case of nuclear catastrophe. For decades, hotel staff and guests walked above it without knowing what was beneath their feet. Although no experiments were conducted on people here, the facility reveals how far governments were willing to go to preserve power, while the rest of the population was left behind. Sealed behind 25-ton blast doors with decontamination chambers and interrogation rooms, this place feels more like a psychological weapon than a rescue plan. And today, the bunker is abandoned, but everything remains intact, as if waiting. Number 9. The documents were real, the names were censored, and the locations mostly forgotten. After years of silence, a single source began to piece everything together, a collection of declassified experiments scattered across military facilities worldwide. It's known as the Black Vault. Thousands of government files, released through the Freedom of Information Act, revealed shocking programs. Attempts to weaponize weather, disrupt human thought using electromagnetic fields, and even test sonic devices capable of disabling entire crowds. Most of these tests were carried out in sites that have since been abandoned or sealed, ghost structures where unapproved science once ruled. We may never know how far some of those experiments really went, but one thing is clear: the truth was never meant to be found. Number 8. Deep beneath a town, swallowed by fire, strange movements and rumors began to surface. The place had already been abandoned, yet activity continued, hidden from the world. The Centralia Tunnels, Pennsylvania, USA. After an underground mine fire erupted in the 1960s, Centralia was evacuated and left to burn forever. But years later, reports emerged of military vehicles entering the tunnels at night. Some believe the U.S. government used the smoldering, isolated network to conduct tests on robotics, heat resistance, and even psychological endurance. With temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit and toxic gases filling the air, Centralia became a natural testbed for extreme survival, or something darker. No official records confirm these operations, but explorers have found sealed shafts, strange wiring, and signs of recent activity in a place where no one should be. Number 7. It was built to scan the skies for enemy missiles, but what it broadcasted may have affected mines instead. At this position in the list is the Duga Radar, located deep inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone. This massive Soviet structure, nicknamed the Russian woodpecker for the eerie tapping noise it sent through global radio waves, was officially a Cold War surveillance system. But locals began experiencing insomnia, anxiety, and hallucinations, symptoms never fully explained. Some researchers believe Duga was part of a larger experiment, using low-frequency waves to influence behavior or disrupt thought. After the Chernobyl meltdown, the system was shut down and the site abandoned, yet the radar still stands, rusting, quiet, and surrounded by stories no one can prove or disprove. Number 6. Its existence was denied for decades, but too many people kept telling the same story. At this position is the Doulce base, located in New Mexico, USA. Officially, it doesn't exist, but former employees, whistleblowers, and even law enforcement have described a hidden military facility buried beneath the Archuleta Mesa, allegedly used for some of the most disturbing experiments imaginable. Reports speak of genetic labs, surgical chambers, and hybrid beings, part human, part machine. Others mention strange lights in the desert, high-level security patrols, and underground structures that extend for miles. While no document has ever confirmed it, the number of overlapping testimonies is hard to ignore. Whatever Doulce was, or still is, it's a secret buried deep beneath the surface. Number 5. Most people have never heard of it, but those who entered never forgot what they saw. At this position is Porton Down, located in Wiltshire, United Kingdom, one of the oldest and most secretive military science facilities in the world. Porton Down was the site of countless chemical and biological weapons tests throughout the 20th century. Soldiers were exposed to mustard gas, nerve agents, and hallucinogens, often without fully understanding the risks. Some died during the experiments. Others suffered long-term effects that were buried in classified reports. Even today, parts of the facility remain off-limits, and details about what really happened inside continue to surface slowly through government inquiries. It's not an abandoned ruin, but some of the older sections are sealed forever, for reasons no one will explain. Number 4. It was one of the Soviet Union's most dangerous secrets. And even today, what happened there remains largely untold. Coming in at number 4 is the Mayak facility, located in the southern Urals of Russia. Built as a nuclear processing plant during the Cold War, Mayak was the site of multiple catastrophic accidents, none more devastating than the Kyshtym disaster of 1957, a radioactive explosion second only to Chernobyl. But what makes Mayak truly terrifying is how the Soviet government handled it. Total silence. Entire villages were evacuated without explanation. Contaminated workers were buried in unmarked graves. Some areas around the site remain so toxic, they've been fenced off for eternity. No official footage exists of the interior. Only a few leaked photos suggest the extent of the damage, and what might still be sealed inside. Number 3. Few military programs have crossed ethical lines as blatantly as this one, and the truth only came to light decades later. Taking the third spot is Project Sunshine, a top-secret U.S. operation involving post-nuclear research. In the 1950s and 60s, scientists sought to measure how radiation from nuclear fallout affected the human body. But instead of using volunteers, they took tissue samples, mostly bones, from the deceased. Many were infants and children. The most disturbing part, consent was rarely, if ever, obtained. Families were never told their loved ones had been dissected for government research. Some remains were even shipped across borders without documentation. Several facilities connected to the project were quietly closed or repurposed. But the legacy of Project Sunshine remains a haunting reminder that not all atrocities require a battlefield. Number 2. It began as a quest to understand the human mind, but what followed was a descent into psychological torment. In the second spot is Project MK Ultra, conducted across multiple hidden sites in the United States and Canada. Run by the CIA from the 1950s through the 70s, MKULTRA aimed to develop mind control techniques using drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and torture. Subjects, many of them unwilling, were dosed with LSD and other chemicals, locked in isolation chambers, and subjected to psychological manipulation for weeks. Hospitals, prisons, and secret labs were used as testing grounds. Some victims never recovered. Others were never even identified. Many of the facilities tied to MK Ultra were abandoned or destroyed once the project was exposed. But some remain, empty, silent, and stained by a history the government tried to erase. Number 1, no experiment, no matter how secret, matches the horror of what happened here. It was science without ethics, research without mercy. At the top of the list is Unit 731, located in Harbin, China, operated by the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II. Behind the walls of this hidden facility, thousands of civilians, mostly Chinese and Korean, were subjected to the most inhumane experiments imaginable: vivisections without anesthesia, forced infections with plague, anthrax, and cholera, exposure to freezing conditions to study frostbite, weapons tested on live prisoners. The goal? Biological warfare and data on human endurance to pain, disease, and trauma. When the war ended, Unit 731 was destroyed, but not forgotten. Some of its scientists were quietly granted immunity in exchange for their data. The site today is a museum, but many of the underground chambers remain sealed, and what happened inside still haunts history.